I am in a video making mood, and funny thing, I thought it was Saturday, but you know, it's Sunday and that's the day I gotta upload, and I was like, be all professional today, film a day early so I'm prepared for tomorrow. You know, it's Sunday, so that didn't work out, but anyways. Hello Monsters, my name is Margee and I'm your Sunday spot on 7 OUAT Addicts. So this week's theme on 7 OUAT Addicts is how to write fanfiction, and honestly I don't write a ton of fanfiction, I will admit. I've done it before. I kind of know how to write fanfiction enough to where I can make this video, but I don't really know if I'm the best person to give you advice on it, just the most professional way I think there is to do it. I guess this is the amateur's guide to writing fanfiction. So let's just get right into the video. Okay, so I have a list of steps here on how to write your fanfiction. This video is probably going to be titled CaptainSwan fanfiction, but this can apply to any ship or any character even. It doesn't have to be a relationship. It can just be about a show or a movie or whatever you want it to be about. So the first thing is to pick your ship or whatever characters you want your fanfiction to be centered around. In this case, I'm just going to use CaptainSwan as my example because who else would I pick? Okay, so then step 2 is to pick a plot to happen with your characters, in my case CaptainSwan. I'm going to give you a few examples. So there is a fly flying all around my microphone. That's and it really needs to get out of here because it's really annoying me. Examples for plots. You can base it around stuff that's already happened in the show and just put a little twist on it. You could write a fanfiction about CaptainSwan in season 3, just kind of twist the plot a bit. Maybe you could write what you think happens in the gap between season 6 and season 7. You could write a fanfiction about that. Or you could do an AU, an alternate universe. You could write the classic CaptainSwan in high school, or like Emma and Killian have been best friends their whole life. Just, you know, whatever you want to do. You just come up with a creative plot or find one of those plot generators. What do you want to write your fanfiction about? Because you're going to need that to write a fanfiction, obviously. So step 3 is going to be writing all of your ideas down. You've got your plot, now you kind of want to get in your head what you want to happen. Like, you've obviously got the main thing, specific events and like milestones along the way. Again, we're talking about CaptainSwan. We're using CaptainSwan as our example. So you need to set, like, if it's like an AU, like when they start dating, when he proposes, when they get married. That's just an example of milestones. But you also want to like think of different things you want to happen, like different conflicts that might happen, or like Killian gets in a car crash. That kind of dark stuff happens in fanfiction. So for that, I recommend either having like a notebook for all your ideas, or you can just use notes in your phone. You know what I'm saying, hopefully. I probably don't make any sense. Again, don't do this a lot, and don't even follow this procedure. I just think this is probably a good way to do it if you're actually wanting to commit. Okay, so now that you have your plot and your ideas for what you want to happen along the way, before you write it, you have to pick where you're going to publish it, because that's probably where you're going to write it in. You can skip this step if you just want to write it for your own personal enjoyment of writing, or maybe just, you know, writing it in a notebook rather than actually publishing it for other fans to read. You can totally skip this step and we'll move on. But for the people that do want to publish it, there's tons of apps and websites. I've heard of fanfiction.net. There's tons of others that I've heard of, but the main one that I know about is Wattpad. Heard about by now. It's an app on the App Store. It's free. You download it. Okay, so now that you've decided where you want to publish it, you can go ahead and go and start writing. So Wattpad, you should be able to just go down to the bottom of the app and there's a little line and there's places for your notifications, your profile, all of that kind of stuff. The thing you need to pay attention to is the thing in the middle, and it's a little pencil looking thing, and you hit on it and you hit create new story, title, a description, and then you can continue and then go ahead and start writing your first chapter. So writing on Wattpad, it will give you a word count, and my suggestion is about 1,000 words per chapter. It might sound like a lot, but it actually isn't, but that's a fairly decent amount for one chapter. It's not too lengthy, it's not too short. Sometimes there's just like a paragraph chapter, which might seem like a lot when you're writing it, but really it's not very interesting for the viewer, and you'll have it done by no time if you've got in your mind what you want to happen. So once you have written everything and you've got it good and you've got your paragraphs spaced out, you got your paragraphs indented, you really need to make sure you've got everything correct. People do comment and call you out on your fanfiction and say like, you used this word wrong, or you didn't capitalize this. Not necessarily criticism, they're just trying to help you out, but So make sure you've got everything grammatically correct before publishing it. You can also skip this step if you're only writing the fanfiction for your personal use. Now you need to make a schedule for writing and updating. So for Wattpad, you usually update your fanfiction. So pretty much there's two ways you can do this. You can write the entire fanfiction and then publish it all at once. I've never known someone to do that, but that would be very nice, actually. So you wouldn't have to wait. Typical way people do it is you write a chapter and you publish that. Some people publish daily and then other people update weekly or monthly or yearly. It's really annoying when people don't update fanfictions because you're just like, cliffhanger, help, don't know what to do. It's basically like a little mini hiatus. You need to plan how to update regularly. I think once a week is a pretty good place to start, and if you want to, you can work up to maybe twice a week or once a day, whatever works for you. My advice for doing this is don't update a chapter until you know what you're doing with the second chapter and know where you're gonna go or have written a little bit of it. So for example, wrote chapter 1, don't publish it yet. Go ahead and move over to chapter 2, and once you're on chapter 2, what you're going to do with chapter 2, and write a little bit of it to all of it. You have to be all of it. Just make sure you know where you're going and you'll be able to continue writing it before publishing the chapter before it, because you got to make sure you're going to keep updating regularly. So that's just a kind of tip. I don't think any of this is making sense. And also, when you're ending a chapter of your fanfiction, make sure you have some kind of cliffhanger on it so it makes your viewers more ready to wait for that next update no matter when it will be. So even if you do slack a little bit and don't update for like a month, they'll be ready when it comes back to be like, oh, there was a cliffhanger there, I need to read this. I guess that's it. I probably have given you very terrible advice. I'm sorry, I really don't write fanfiction that much. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like, it'll be greatly appreciated. If you want, you can subscribe to 7 OUAT Addicts down below for weekly/daily Once Upon a Time videos. Don't forget that all the other girls on this channel have personal channels, and their personal channels will be linked in the description box down below, as well as their Instagram. I also have a personal channel called That Strawberry Blonde, where I do fandom videos such as Once Upon a Time, Star Wars, Hunger Games, Sherlock, Twin and Pilot, Supernatural, Stranger Things, plus more because I can never remember all of my fandoms. That is also linked in the description box down below. And again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you next week. Goodbye, YouTube! The stupid fly. Why is there so many flies in here?